Starting with the general exercises on the second term. The first question, choose the correct answer for each statement of the following. On heating copper hydroxide, we obtain copper hydroxide CuOH between brackets by 2. When it decomposes thermally, it forms or producing copper oxide and water vapor. Copper oxide and water vapor, if you remember that. So on heating copper hydroxide, the answer will be P. The copper oxide and water vapor. Okay. Substitution reactions take place. Substitution, if you remember, regarding to the chemical activity series, active metal, or more active and less active. So the more active replaces the less active one. Okay? But here he didn't say replaces. He say with. So he changed the phrase itself by using another word. So which one is right here? The substitution take place on replacing what with what? The less active with more active, or the more active with less active? Of course, it will be the less active elements with more active one. Why? Because if you understand in this sentence again, less active take place, replacing the less active with a more active one. So the more active one that replaces the less active one. Okay. The intensity of the electric current passing through a circuit can be measured by, he asking about the apparatus or the device, the intensity, ammeter. We use the ammeter to measure the current intensity. Okay, for measuring the potential difference between two terminals of a conductor, we use, he asking also about the device. Potential difference is measured by voltmeter. Voltmeter, okay? The value of resistance of an electric conductor in an electric circuit is changed on changing the dimension of conductor, okay? The dimension of the conductor. Okay, give reason for each of the following. Iron filings with a certain mass react faster with acids than a piece of iron have the same mass. So what do we change here? The surface area, okay? Iron filings and a piece of iron. So you are going to find that the iron filings react faster. Why? Because by increasing the surface area, the speed of the chemical reaction increases. Okay, because the small size has a big or a large surface area. Here he asking about cleaning aluminum burns a cylinder full of oxygen faster than burning in air. Here he changed the concentration. Okay, if I burn something in oxygen concentrated in a jar, and instead of burning it in the air, less oxygen. Why? Because by increasing the concentration, the chemical reaction increases or become faster. Mendel covered the stigmas of pea plants when studying the color seed trait. He covered the stigmas. The stigma is the female part in the flower. So he covered to prevent the cross-pollination. He covered to prevent the cross-pollination. A red precipitate is formed on adding magnesium to copper sulfate solution. He needs the equation and like the explanation for this equation that you are going to write. Adding magnesium to copper sulfate, so I have CuSO4 plus Mg. So Mg is more active than Cu. That's why it replaces it in its salt. So the formation of magnesium sulfate and the copper will precipitate or it form a precipitation, and color it will be a red precipitate. Okay, if you remember this equation, Mg plus CuSO4 give us or yields MgSO4 plus Cu as a red precipitate. Compare between each pair of the following. This is only for definitions and the examples if you have and so on. Oxidation and oxidizing agent. You know that the oxidation you have two definitions. Choose whatever you want. The easiest one, a chemical process where the atom loses one electron or more. Okay, while the oxidizing agent, it is the agent that gains one electron or more. And we said that the oxidizing agent related to the reduction process and reducing agent related to the oxidation process. Okay, the same definition, but instead of saying process, you are going to say agent. Okay, the two tests on and ovaries. This is the hormones that we explained last time. We said that tests is producing testosterone hormone that's responsible for male secondary sex characters, while ovaries secrete two hormones, estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen for secondary female sex characters and progesterone during pregnancy and so on. Okay, the dominant and recessive trait. Dominant means the strong one, as we explained before. So it appears in the first generation 100%. Okay? While recessive traits, it is a trait that disappear in the first generation, doesn't appear in the first generation, and it start to appear in the second generation by ratio 3:1. The recessive, the weak one. Okay? To obtain a dominant gene from either parent will have the dominant traits, even they have one dominant trait. But to gain or to get a recessive trait, you need the both genes have recessive traits from the two genes together, similar to recessive traits together. Okay. Complete the following statement on passing hydrogen gas over hot copper oxide, CuO plus H2. Copper oxide is converted into copper only. This is the equation for oxidation and reduction process, the example of oxidation and reduction. On adding silver nitrate solution to sodium chloride, white precipitate of silver chloride. Silver chloride. This is the precipitate that has a white color. Okay. Chemically, the chromosome consists of the. This is not a correct sentence, but you can write here DNA, nucleic acid. Okay. DNA, nucleic acid. Okay. With protein. Chemical reaction are classified into types, you know them, the thermal decomposition, substitutions, simple and double, and oxidation and reduction, and so on. So the first one related to which type? H2, CuO, Cu, H2O, so we change in the O, one take it and one give it. So this is oxidation and reduction. KOH plus HCl, KCl plus H2O. I have here the K takes the Cl and H forming water with OH, so double substitution reaction. 2Na, of course, I have one element plus compound, so it forms a simple substitution reaction. Okay. Regarding to the definition, uh, we have the first one, the electric current intensity is a quantity. If you remember, I equals Q over T. So it is a quantity of the electricity in Coulomb, or you can say electric charge flowing through a cross section of the conductor in 1 second. Okay. After that, we have the electric potential. This one, the electric potential, you know that this is the state of an electric conductor that shows the transfer of the electricity from or to it when it connected with another one. Okay, this is regarding to the electric potential. Ammeter, sorry, I forget it. Ammeter, it is a device or apparatus that you use to measure the electric current intensity. Okay, volt, it is a potential difference across two terminals of a conductor on doing a work of 1 joule to transfer a quantity of charge of 1 coulomb, because volt, you know, equals W over Q, work over coulomb, okay, a quantity. Then we have the electric resistance of a conductor. Of course, it will be the ratio between the potential difference across the two ends of a conductor and the current intensity passing through it. It is the ratio between the potential difference of a conductor and the current intensity passing through it. Okay. Then we have ohm. Ohm, it is a resistance that allow the electric current equals 1 ampere when the potential difference equals 1 volt. Okay, if you remember, ohm equals V over I. Okay, the acquired trait, it is a trait that aren't transmitted from the parents to the next generation. It is a trait that, sorry, they are the traits that aren't transmitted from parents to the next generation. Radioactivity phenomenon, it is a spontaneous decay of the atom's nuclei of some radioactive elements, okay, to attempt to achieve more stability. Mutation cancelled. Hormone, this is the last one, you know it, we explained last time, a chemical substance that controls and organizes most of the vital activities and function in the body, okay? This is for the definition. Mention each of the following two precautions needed